Hello, we are live. Ebere, we are live.
Are we?
Yeah.
Finally. Oh
Oh
my
God.
God.
Yeah,
Wow.
we're a great example of not giving up, but we tried everything on Instagram, and Instagram doesn't want us to go live. So we said, okay, we're just gonna go on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook, which is not too bad, right? We still are everywhere. So thank you, Ebere, for being a part of the show, the real story behind her business. It's really a place where I invite amazing guests that always put me on fire personally, and I know that some of you are going to be watching the replay and you're going to be on fire too. So anytime if there are things that Ebere or I say and you feel it speaks to you, please leave us a comment. Tell us what resonates with you and how we can help you. So the show, Welcome Ebere, is really to share your story and how your story shaped your business and your offers. And this is what actually makes us different in the marketplace, is how we position our business based on our journey. So I can't wait for you, Ebere, to share your journey with us. Thank you for being there. Tell us who you are, where you are tonight, and who do you serve in that world.
Thank you so much for having me, Angelique. We made it. It's been a struggle with the Instagram and all of that. But thank God we are here. My name is Ebere Akadiri, and I live in the Netherlands. But right now, I'm in the UK. I'm in England, and that's my location. About what I do, I do a lot of things. So, but first, in terms of my business, I
Sorry. Yeah.
yeah, my business is Ataro Group, and when I say Ataro Group, it's we have Ataro Foods and Spices, which I launched about 7 years ago when I arrived in Netherlands from Nigeria. And then later we created Ataro Consulting, where I used to kind of share my knowledge of business development and strategy with clients. And for my what I do in terms of giving back is an initiative I also founded 4 years ago. It's called Rise and Lead Women, and the purpose is to inspire women to rise and lead. The purpose is to help women to unleash their potential and get those top leadership positions in workplaces, and also for women to build sustainable businesses in the marketplace. So that's what Rise and Lead does. And of course, I met you through Eleanor Beaton, who was a speaker at the Rise and Lead Summit that we had in September. And you were also an engaged participant. I really appreciate you for that. So that's what I do. So I serve women. I serve women who want to rise to leadership. And I also serve humanity, not just women. I serve vulnerable youths and women as well through a foundation called Beauty in Every Life. So that's pretty much about my work. Yeah.
You have so much. So I always like to start with the the little girl you were back when you were between 5 and 10. What do you remember being interested in when you were like playing or whatever you were doing at that age that really kind of shaped who you became? Because you were like a multipreneur, like going from the food industry to consulting to helping women. Tell me more about the little girl and what was there, like boiling ready.
Oh, that's so easy to tell because recently a friend of mine, there's this little girl story that was being shared on social media, and they had asked me to also share mine. I actually wrote it, but I didn't post it. So maybe you
Oh,
can
okay.
I will find the courage to share it someday. So being as a little girl, what I remember, which maybe I was asking myself, am I really ready to share this? Is the fact that, as a child, my mom passed away when I was 8 years old, and so I grew up, practically being raised by my eldest sister. And but the good thing is, and I keep thinking about it every day, that sometimes people lose their parents and they don't make it, they don't become successful. But in my own case, I live we live in a community where everybody wanted to help. But I was thinking about it yesterday, like, why was everybody helping us, after my mom passed? Then I remembered that it's because my mom was very generous to the community, to women. My mom was a nurse, and sometimes some women could not afford to pay for their delivery. I mean, I live in Nigeria. I'm from Nigeria. We don't have insurance at that time, and some women could not afford to pay. Some women could not afford to treat themselves when they were sick. My mother would had to prepare a small room in our house for delivery for free. And then, and some of these things, when I, growing up, I was thinking about this particular one where I go to the market, to the butcher, and he said, as long as he lives, we will not pay for meat. It's going to be free. And I said, why? He said, because my mom helped his family when they had no money. And so that shaped the way I do business. Is everything I do is rooted on generosity, without wanting to get anything back, because these people were so generous to us growing up that we didn't lack anything. Even though my father was not very I realized that my mom makes more money than my father, and so things were supposed to be a bit hard for us. But families, people stepped in, nannies, people send their daughters to take care of us for free. So that's actually shaped who I am today. So all the businesses I do, I always look for opportunity to show some level of generosity to people, to help people who cannot afford it, and also to help people who can afford it, but maybe in another way, finding out what people need and serving them with what they need. That's what makes me happy. So that has shaped the businesses I run today. All the businesses I run are rooted in community and events. I can't remember running a business that I do not, through that business, create events, corporate events, parties, because that's who I am, that fun little child. Growing up, I used to dance a lot. So everything I do is all about serving people and having fun doing it, and also making money, along the way.
Wow. And it's so, what a beautiful tribute to your mom, because like I attended your Rise and Lead Summit, and it's the people you meet, like you infuse that in everybody you meet, like the vibes of the summit, like we were feeling that, sharing. It was sharing platforms, no matter who was who, right? That's so amazing. Thank you for sharing this story, because it's I know it's going where, you probably went through a different season of your life with all of this. So thank you for sharing this. So tell me, when you had so many businesses based on where you were located in the world, and right now you're dedicating your time to women leaders, um, could you tell me more about, what was the burning desire behind, because you went from a mega, like, I don't want to tell too much of your story, but tell us maybe where you're coming from before going to the woman project you have right now. What was your background in business?
Oh, thank you for asking me that question. So before I moved to the Netherlands in 2013, I was living in my country, Nigeria, and and I had a restaurant business. So my restaurant business was very, very successful. And the reason it was successful was because I first had a retail business. I was selling clothes, when my daughter was 2.5 years old. And the first time I opened the business, it failed. Like within 6 months, it closed down because I didn't know anything about business development. So that prompted me to go back and start studying, start reading, start attending seminars to learn how to structure a business. That was just structuring a business was very important. And so I took what I learned and then restarted this failed business, a clothing retail shop, and it became very successful within 6 months. I realized that I made back all the money I lost in the first business. So with that idea, I used to travel a lot to London and the US to buy clothes to resell in Nigeria. And then one day I saw all these fast casual restaurants, and I studied food science and technology, and I also did some internship in a food company. And I kept saying one day I'm going to own this type of restaurant. So when I kept seeing them in London, I was inspired to start up a restaurant in Nigeria, and I did. I didn't know restaurant business wasn't, and it wasn't a business for little people, for small kids. Restaurant business is very tedious, and I was ready to just do it anyhow. But then I had a mentor. He just walked into my life and said, "Ebere, you have to do this properly." I said, you know what? This is already a lot of trouble. But he helped me every day. Every week I had to go and meet with him, and he kept telling me what to do in my business. And when we launched the restaurants, from the first day it became successful because it was all planned out. And thanks to my mentor, really, that's why I know that there's power in mentorship, especially from people who understand what you're trying to build. So I launched the restaurant business. It was really, using successful. I like to use that instead of mentioning the amount of revenue. I'm a Nigerian, we don't do that. But it was really successful. We had 56 employees. We had a lot of corporate clients, over 12 of them. We were catering and managing all their events, and also we had um, we had a big offshore catering. It was just growing so big within 3 years. And then when it was 5 years, my husband was transferred to the Netherlands for his work. This means I had to leave my business to follow my husband. And this is cultural as well. So it was a very painful moment for me, um, because I had a vision to build 10 businesses, 10 restaurants within like 5 years. And I've already built the second one within 5 years. I was building the third one. And, I also built a commercial bakery. We were growing very quickly. And then I had to move, really. The first time my husband told me we were moving, I said, no, we're not going to do that. But family pressures, everything, everybody begged me to just go. This is a family business. Your business should not separate you from your family. And that's how I found myself in the Netherlands. And when I came, when you're in Nigeria, the way you have your the picture you have about going abroad and all of that is always a bit like, everything is all better out there. I mean, even though I used to travel a lot, I traveled just for my business and I go back. I never lived outside. Um, so I was looking for to see, women building this type of massive business that I was building because I had a lot of such women in Nigeria. But I was surprised that it wasn't the same, it wasn't the case. It wasn't the case. I mean, I saw a lot of people building businesses, but it was one person's business. And I've never done that before. I never did that before. Because I wasn't like hands-on. I'm always like the strategist behind all my businesses. So I kind of how do I put it? I mean, I'm not saying women were not doing well. They were doing well, making money, but I was kind of my expectation was this like big companies, and then I spent time to learn the culture and everything, and I started a food packaging, spice packaging, small company with one employee, and I needed help. Like you need this community that can guide you on what to do, the payroll, uh, how to get help. And then I joined a lot of networking meetings, and everybody was just working for themselves. Nobody had this like payroll, and maybe some women in the Dutch community, maybe they had them, but I'm talking about the international network communities. So I decided that might just be, I think we need to build this type of network that I'm thinking about where we have women who are inspired to lead in the business world. And that was the idea of Rise and Lead Women. But eventually, because I had a co-founder, and the co-founder said to me, Ebere, we have to close the gender leadership gap in workplaces as well. That was how you see that Rise and Lead Women initially started with as a female empowerment brand, but then it started evolving to driving gender diversity and inclusion in workplaces. And that's where we are today. And that's the annual summit, which happens every September, that you were a part of, is our highlight for Rise and Lead. But we try to do a lot of leadership development master classes, workshops, from throughout the whole year before the summit. So I hope that story wasn't too long.
Well, it's a long story because the story of your life, right? So the thing I want to ask you, so you go from building the dream, going to say goodbye to the dream, going through family pressure or the culture pressure, and then you arrive in a completely different culture that doesn't do business the way you wish you want to do business. And so you start to dream again and then make it happen. And then now the movement is growing. So what does it take, Ebere, when you get up in the morning? How do you set up your brain or your heart or to keep going? And no matter what, you make your own space wherever you are, even if you're completely out of where you were.
Thanks for asking. I think it's just who I am, really, because one of my strengths is it's problem solving and also never giving up. So when you're a problem solver, you don't give up. You always try to fix things. So I think I'm just built that way to always try and solve problems. So anytime I'm faced with obstacles, which by the way, I've faced a lot of obstacles, a lot. But anytime I'm faced with obstacles, my brain start working on how do I solve it. I don't believe in complaining about issues or problems. I only think about solutions. How do I bring solution to this problem? And I believe that that's what it means to be an entrepreneur, somebody who solves problems, somebody who creates something new. And all the time, and I use this gift a lot when I'm consulting for small business owners who are building businesses. I always tell them, like, we need to start thinking in terms of problem solution. What is the problem? What is the solution? What is the problem? What is the solution? And that's the question you kind of ask every day in your business to be able to find the right answers, to provide the right solutions for your clients or for your customers, whatever business you're doing. So that's first, I would say that's one of my strengths, solving problems, especially complex problems. And secondly, I would say is because of all my experiences where I've been faced with obstacles and I have to be resilient to find ways to overcome those obstacles. They're not, sometimes they're not funny. I mean, I don't wish to be having obstacles every day, but then when it comes, I solve it. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So, in the context of Rise and Lead, when did so I can just imagine you arriving in the Netherlands, trying to figure out how business works and how you can make those connections to the one you're looking for, and then you start that movement, that summit, and then so what was the big revelation for you where you realized that this is it, this is what we needed? It's exactly, not only you were seeking it, but other women were seeking the same
Yeah.
experience. When did it click for you and you said, yeah, that's it?
Yeah, I think it was an event organized by a university called Erasmus University, Rotterdam.
Okay.
And, they have this women network. And then I went for that event and they had invited a woman who later became my mentor from India. And she came and she spoke with all boldness and convictions. And, the way she was speaking, it was obvious that she was stepping out of the line. This is not the culture here. We don't talk this way. So a lot of people kind of, there was a pushback, right? And for me, I've been looking for this person. Like, I've been looking for this type of person. This is not a culture here, but this is my culture. I want to be bold enough to kind of speak my truth. I want to be bold enough to be able to gather other women who are hiding, but they're looking for somebody to give them that voice. And then I met with her afterwards. I said to her, this is my dilemma. I don't know what to do in this country. I'm just lost. And she's actually the one that encouraged me to start up something like this network and make sure from the start people understand it's not for the faint-hearted. It's for people who want to rise and lead. It's for people, women who are ambitious. It's for women who want to raise their aspirations. So the way we speak might be uncomfortable for women who want to be very, just maintain a little space and control it. So we, from the beginning, uh, try to let people know that it's for those who are ambitious, who are raising their aspirations, and who want to be inspired and learn how how to ask for those top leadership positions, how to build those big businesses. So it's changed, and I realized that a lot of women wanted the same thing. We're just waiting for somebody to give a voice to their dreams. And that, for me, is what Rise and Lead has done for a lot of women, including myself. I mean, the platform, even though I built it, that platform also helped me to continue to hone my skills and to grow to the leader that I am becoming, or I have become today.
Wow. Magnifique, I would say in French. I love your story. I love your story. Ebere, you mentioned money earlier, like your culture, about money culture, your country, like from where you were before, from now. in the Netherlands, and now across your journey as an entrepreneur, you've been building and building businesses after businesses and movement now. So, how your relationship to money has changed through this? Because you were really explicit at the beginning saying that your value is really generosity first, like still making money along the way. How do you tell me more about that?
Angelique, I believe that business, there's a difference between a business and a charity, and I have both of them. So my business, Ataro Group, is a business, and then Rise and Lead is a foundation. So they are two different things, right? So I make money, I give back, either through my knowledge or financially or sponsoring events, right? So in my business at Taro, I have it's supposed to make money. Really, businesses should make money. If they're not making money, then you're not in business. So I don't have issues. I've always said, so I think it's in early next year, in February, I'm running a mastermind, and one of the reasons I wanted to do that was because the people I mentor, sometimes they tell me they have all these baggages with money issues. They tell me they have money mindset, and I tell them there is nothing like that, really. That if for me, if I calculate my cost of doing business, my costs, and then I have a profit goal. So if I add and subtract, I should know exactly how much to offer for my services or my product. So where does this money mindset come in? Where does it come in? I think what people need to learn a little bit more is about how to sell. You just have to know how to sell. So if you understand your pricing in terms of your product, and for Ataro, I have Ataro spices that sells online. I know the cost. My manufacturer gives me all the costs. I'm not going to shortchange myself. I make sure we make profit, right? For my services, which is my consulting, helping small business owners to build, to have a good structure foundation for their business, I already know the value that I'm bringing to them. And that value is always that within 3 months, you will learn how to structure your business and you will make money, right? Recently, I was speaking to one of my mentees. I'm like, it's 3 months. How far? Have you made some money since we met? He said, like, oh my God, 600% increase. 600, not 60, 600%. So if I give this, if I make this promise, it's very bold promise. I didn't promise 600%. Sorry, I just said to at least you should increase your revenue by 100% to 200%. And then somebody tells me 600%. It means that my value is increased. I know my value, right? So I have no issues at any time regarding money. If it's business, it's business. If it's a charity, it's charity. Charity,
Got
when it's
it.
charity, I invest into charities. When it's my business, I invest into my business and I expect to make profit. That's the difference, yeah.
Oh, I love it. That was powerful. I love how you're so clear about it. Thank you for sharing this. I'm sure it's gonna help a lot of people. Oh my God. Yes. I love
Some,
it.
and you know what? I don't want to discount people's experiences, or because really and truly, some people have these issues of self-doubt, and they have issues of what they call imposter complex, right? I don't discount that, but maybe because I've been in business for a number of years, what I try to tell people is, learn your pricing, because your pricing speaks a lot about your product or your services. try and master your pricing. When you understand why you have to price a particular product or service in a certain way, you will be so confident to sell it. You're not going to feel like an imposter if you know that you're selling original product. But if you're selling fake product, you're going to feel like an imposter because really, it's a human thing. And that's my own point of view. So I always said, okay, keep your self doubt aside. Let's calculate your pricing first, and please go sell it. Go and use this price. And you see, people sometimes, what such people need is just a little bit of guidance on how to do price some their pricing. Um, but I'm not discounting people's lived experiences. I'm not saying people don't have money mindset issues, but I'm saying I don't have it, and the
Yeah, yeah,
people
I love it.
I don't have it. Yeah, thanks.
Because I'm someone who worked on my money issue, so I don't take it as an offense or anything. I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
it. Actually, it gives a good vibes. Like, okay, business is business, friend. That's
Yeah,
it.
that's it. Yeah.
I love
I
that.
don't, I,
I love it.
I don't know. Yeah.
I
It's
love it.
really,
Because
there's a lot of baggage when it comes to money, really.
yeah,
A lot of emotional baggage when we talk about money. So, um, it's important that people need to be supported to fix their mindset. I, I believe in fixing my mindset, but I don't particularly fix it around money. So our mindset could be on anything, you
mhm,
know. I don't know. So I
love
don't
it.
know. Yeah,
Oh,
thank you.
thank you for this. Ebere, with your experience, what, so talking about mindset, what are yours? Do you have any fears around business or future dreams, or either things that stops you, or what's your take on that? Because we hear a lot about the fear of, growing.
I was very young when I when I had a restaurant business. I don't remember seeing anybody who was at the level of my business that was my age. They were almost the age of my mom, right? They were all older than me, and they were men. They were all men. There were just maybe one or two women. The rest were men. That we were actually competing in this space, and my business grew very fast, very fast. I mean, I was too young, and I had to hire 56 people, right? Um, Let me tell you something. The reason anybody at all will be afraid of growth is when you don't structure your business for growth. We are entrepreneurs, we are business owners. We need to we just need to structure our businesses for growth. Simple. The structure, the foundation is like building a house. If your foundation is not strong enough, you're not going to build a very, high building, high rise. But if you take some time and build your foundation properly, your house, you're just going to be able to lay bricks, and the house, in Nigeria, we build our own houses. So I understand how it works to build a house. Um, so it's the same as building a business. So many people um, who I have worked with, mentored, or consulted for, I realized there's no plan. When you don't have plan for growth, and when I'm talking about plan, we talk about these 7 pillars of business development, and then I see that people only are using two. They're thinking of only marketing, and they're only thinking about they're thinking marketing, and they're thinking of social media, which is good, and they are part of the business. But behind the social media, and by the way, you're doing a good job with that. Behind the social media, behind the marketing, right? What about the vision? How far is your vision? What about the strategy? What strategies are you going to use to turn your vision into reality. What about your human resources needs? How are you going to do that? What about your financing? Are you going to take some money from the bank or investors as your business grow? How about your partners, your board of directors? All of these things, small business owners like us, we really need to start structuring our businesses for growth. When we structure our businesses for growth, there's no way of being afraid of growth. I don't know how. I just don't know. Maybe there's something like that, but Angelique, I don't know. But for
I love
me,
it.
I'm not
Yeah, and I love
afraid.
it. Yeah.
I'm not afraid
And
of that.
actually, before we forget, because you have an amazing guide for our listeners here, the foundertableclub.com is it's a resource that you give to people to kind of have the ABC of your foundation, right? When you want to start
It-
building a business.
yes, it's a resource for people to even try out a business idea first and make money from it before they invest. It's just for a startup who is thinking, I want to start a business, but I'm not sure. I'm afraid it might fail. The reason it will fail is because there is no proper research. There's no, trying to find out all the details about what your customers want. So what I did was I tried to create this guide for both online entrepreneurs and offline entrepreneurs on how they can actually make sure that their business is going to make money or profit even before they launch. How can you set it up and ensure that people are willing to buy whatever you're selling before you launch? So that we don't set up a business based on only what you are passionate about. I love to do businesses that I'm passionate about, but I also want to make sure that other people who are my customers are also going to be passionate about the same business enough to pay me.
Yeah, yeah. Awesome. Okay. So thank you for that resource. We'll put the links wherever we promote our interview on the podcast or even on YouTube later on. So it's just at the bottom of the screen here. Don't miss that opportunity because not only you get the resource, but you be in touch with Ebere and you learn more about the Rise and Lead Summit and movement that you have, which I'm part of. And really, the connection I've made there are amazing. So thank you for this, Ebere. Um,
Thank you, Angelique.
so
Thank you.
tell me more, Ebere. We have to talk about social media a little more because you are on the social media love land here.
Social media love. I love that name, really. I love it.
So what's your relationship with social media and how did it shifted over the years?
Oh my God, social media. One time, a friend of mine asked me, Ebere, I'm wondering, do you work? You're always on social media. How do you do it? Oh, I said because I'm a strategist. There's a strategy for everything that I do, and social media is one of them. I think I made a commitment to show up on social media every day. That was about 5 years ago, and every day I do show up. When I started with Facebook, and then it was more like personal relationships and a few businesses. But then I discovered LinkedIn, and I'm like, okay, this is where I should be with my business. And so I made a point of duty to show up there every day. I am still trying to learn Instagram. I'm not trying to learn about Instagram. I had issues with always taking photos and posting and all of that, but now I've learned how to use Instagram to add value beyond taking photos. So I'm just gonna be right now. I'm going to be on Instagram often, but for my LinkedIn, I show up every day, and so I love it because I'm not showing up there to sell anything. you know, once in a while. And the only time is during the summit that I kind of promote what we're doing that is valuable for people. But I show up with values. I show up with my thoughts, what I'm thinking, what I'm experiencing. And I use it as a tool to build community around my thought leadership. So that's what I do with social media. And one thing I like that you do, your program about visibility, is the fact that social media is a tool that we should all, as small business owners, women entrepreneurs, marginalized groups, we need to commit to showing up there every day, or as often as possible. But that's how we that
I love it.
that's how we create our own space. That's how we build our own tables. That's how we also, connect with people and share what we know. If we understand our purpose, like for me, if social media, I have like objectives for it. For me, number one is, community objectives to add value. Number two, personal objectives to get more visible and also to hone my skills on getting more visible and sharing my thoughts and my writings, and it makes me to write regularly because I have to be there, and
Plus,
it's
you're
helping.
writing a book.
And of course, now I'm writing a book, and maybe it's through all these writings that I do every morning on social media, I'm now able to write a book for women leaders. And also for and also another reason I use social media is for cultural objectives. It's I'm trying to make sure that nobody is left out, everybody is included. I speak about inclusion in workplaces. I do not like segregation. I speak out against racism. And so social media is that tool that I use to, add my voice there. People might think, oh, but nobody is listening. People are listening and people are thinking and you know, people are beginning to think back like, am I being inclusive? Who is on my table? Who is not on my table? And that's what I use social media for. And so I like it. And I think you helping women to get visible through social media is a very good thing that you're doing. You're adding value to people.
You are making me cry because you are saying the words I feel so deep inside. Because you hear
Mhm.
so many people criticizing social media, which, if you want to look at the bad side of social media, it's there. No problem. It's easy to find. But if you focus on the amazing things you can share, build, communicate, exchange, it's there too, right? So that's what I appreciate with you, how you go for it. You share your ideas and you don't care about what we think. And this is how people are attracted by you, because you go for the bold. You said earlier you were looking for, a place where people could be bold and say what they have inside, and this is what you do.
And yeah, and for me, I use it to add value to people. I can't tell you the number of times that people write me messages to tell me what I shared today, how it touched them. I can't tell you how many times people reach out to me and say, please, can you mentor me? Some people, last week, somebody reached out to me, I want to work for you for free. And I'm like, why would you do that? Why for free? Please, I need to learn a lot from you. So showing up, if you notice, I always say show up with your gifts. That's my first rule in social media. Don't show up trying to be somebody else, copying what others are doing. Show up, be authentic, show up with your gifts. We have a lot already within us. We have a lot to share with the world. And sometimes just one person, it just requires you sharing something that will help one person one day who is at the verge of committing suicide or something, or who is saying, you know what, I'm closing this business, and then the person reads your posts, and the person will have a rethink. The person will think twice. So many times I've received such messages, like people like, oh, I have hope. Oh, I was giving up on this. So that's for me, that's the big part of my social media activities, is to provide value to people. And I hope I'm doing enough of that. But I know
You're
with the
amazing.
people who reach out to me, who are telling me I am adding value, it makes me happy and I want to do more.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And yeah, thank you for saying it in your own words like that. It just melts my heart. Okay, Ebere, I think we could talk all night, but you have to go to bed. It's late where
Ah,
you are.
ah, I am a mother of five children, and so I'm not used to going to bed early. That is what it means.
Well, thank you
I
for
have to
us.
take care.
In North America, we have you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't go to bed so early, but I'm trying to. I'm kind of focusing a lot on self care, and I'm doing pretty well now, taking good care of myself, and sometimes I don't even go to work. I just want to have relax and watch movies. So yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
So maybe I'll ask you my extra question now. I want to add a question to the real show, the real story behind her business, because I find, and you open the door. You say, "I'm doing wellness. I want." So now I'm gonna add a question, and you can answer it if you want. You're the first one. I asked the question is on the days that you feel good, that everything is aligned, what do you do in that day that you know that it's gonna position you to feel good, to feel energetic? Like, what do you eat, or what food makes you feel good, or what routine makes you feel? What is the thing that you put in place that you know gonna help you have even a better day?
Now, let me first of all give you the context to the question you just asked me. It's because sometimes we don't achieve anything without proper planning. Sometimes we don't. I'm going to maybe even send this to you and your audience. I'm conducting this workshop at the end of November, I believe, I think 29th and 30th. And it's all about planning, strategic planning. Sometimes we small business owners, when we talk about strategic planning, we think it's only for corporate organizations, or we think it's just the strategy session we have with our coaches. It's different. Everything that I do for the entire year, for like 2022, I use the entire October to do the strategic planning. That's why you haven't seen me on LinkedIn. I've been away for a month because this is after the summit, I do my plans. Now, self care is a major part of that planning. Self care, which means when I'm thinking about my planning, I'm talking about starting from my vision for next year, breaking it down to bits, action steps and the strategies and how I hold myself accountable and the commitment I make to the plans. So when you talk about self-care, I'm committed to my self-care because I've had this experience where I broke down. I was so sick because I wasn't taking care of myself. And so for me, in that plan, I have already planned in how I have to, relax, especially when I achieve a major task, like the question you asked me, that, okay, these are the things I have to do within this period. And if I achieve them, I don't put myself under any pressure, but I just say to myself, if I achieve them, I'm just gonna go out with a friend. We're going to go to the beach in The Hague, have a drink, relax, and because I know I've achieved something. So I have these blocks of, every 3 months I plan out things, and every month I plan out every week. So whenever I achieve something, and then I know it's time to go out and have some fun. I don't, there's no day I can say, oh, everything is so perfect today. No, things are never perfect. It's not possible. But it's easy to achieve what you have on your plan. And then I give myself a break before I start with the next plan. So whenever I achieve, I kind of give myself a break, relax, rewind, and have fun, go out, and then start all over again. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, I love this. I love it. Thank you for sharing this. Yeah, everybody take notes. Like don't yeah, make a celebrate kind of the steps, right? Go and do
Yeah,
something that makes you feel good and then start again a new one.
it's the
Wow.
steps because there is no day in the life of a small business owner that everything is going to be so perfect and aligned. Everything is done. It's never done. It's not possible.
No,
No, as an
I know.
entrepreneur, it's not
No.
possible. So you have to build it into all your plans. Like, oh, after this, once I achieve this, I'm gonna just take a break. That's what I do, and it works. It works.
Love that. Thank you. I love this conversation. Is there anything I didn't ask that I should have asked you and you want to talk about it?
I think you've asked a whole lot. I think I'm just looking at myself. It's like it looks like I'm sleepy right now because it's
No,
late
you don't.
over
You don't
here
know
in
something.
Europe. Oh my God, I don't even know what time it is. It's
I
like
know it's
almost
been yeah for
11 p.m. in The
yeah,
Hague now.
yeah.
So
Okay.
I think
So
we've
thank
talked
you.
a lot, and I just want to say thank you for having me. I've enjoyed our conversation, and thank you for being a part of Rise and Lead Women. And I remember the other time you said, "Oh, we're going to be seen for the entire 2022." Yes, we are, and you're coming into the private platform for Rise and Lead Women. You get the emails soon. They told me, my team told me, oh, that we are inviting people to a private platform, and Angelique is one of them. I said, God, that's cool. So we're going to be seeing more of you and
Yes.
supporting each other. That's what we do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why I like to. I'm so happy to be able to have access to you like that, and then in deepening our relationships and our dreams. I love it. Thank you so much, and for all the inspiration. And as I always say, if you've been following all my podcasts or videos, each time I interview a woman like you, I cannot sleep the next night because I'm too fired up. I'm too like, oh, this is juicy. This is
Really?
why we do what we do. Yes.
Oh,
Thank
that's so
you.
good. That's so good. Yeah, the same thing when I do, I conduct interviews. I do
Yeah.
that a lot as well. It's inspiring to share with fellow women. It is. It is. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye
Oh, you're
bye.
welcome. Bye.
Ciao, ciao, everybody. Thank you for being here. And if you watch the replay, put replay or let us know what got your heartbeat stronger. Okay? Bye bye.